Oh my gosh, guys, what's going on? It's the Nintenerd here. I don't even have a proper intro. I don't have a script. I'm winging this because there has been a huge Smash Brothers leak, and I normally don't really cover leaks because I'm very skeptical of them. I don't really trust a lot of them. Even Vergben, the guy who's been making a lot of good calls lately, I haven't fully trusted him either. But this leak, I'm convinced. I'm convinced that it's real. Now, before I show you guys the leak, I just want to let you guys know there is potential for spoilers. So if you want to not be spoiled on the roster of the game, if you don't want to see the leak, then click off right now. I'm giving you a warning right now. I'm not going to show it right now, so you guys have a chance to click off. I'm not even going to put it in the thumbnail because I respect you guys. If you guys don't want to hear about this leak or you guys don't want to see the leak, click off right now. With that said, I'm going to start talking about it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I'm going to be talking about the leak. Now the reason I'm doing this video is because I was about to make a Smash predictions video. I was about to make my final set in stone predictions. And I was predicting we'd get at least 4 new Echo Fighters, which would probably be Shadow, Ken, Dixie Kong, and Octoling. And I was going to predict 3 new brand new fighters that were going to be Geno, Bandana D, and Isaac. And it seems I got pretty close to the number, but I didn't have the right distribution of Echoes and newcomers, which is crazy. I'm blown away. Okay, I'm about to show you guys the leak. Here it is. Now, a little backstory here before we go too in depth. So this was posted on a Snapchat story, I believe. It was like a live video or something like that. And people caught on to this. They saw the video, and they took these little snippets here, as you can see on the screen right now. These little snippets, these little pictures. And that's why the picture's blurry. I'll get into that later, but essentially that's what happened. Some guy posted it on a Snapchat story. People got to it. They got pictures, and this is what we have. Now, as you can see, this is the banner, and it looks like what is to be the full banner for the base roster of Smash Bros. Ultimate. And if this is real, which I think it is, this really is Ultimate. This is an amazing roster. As you can see, there's no Bandana D, which I've been championing for a long, long time, but if he's the character that we can't get in exchange for all these other characters, I'm going to be okay with it. And besides, there's still DLC. We can still see him. But yeah, look at this roster. I'm just going to go in order. Here, let me pull it up real quick. Okay, so I'm just going to go from left to right. As you can see, the far left there, we have Shadow. After that, there's Banjo and Kazooie. After that, there's Isaac. Then there's Ken. Then there's Mach Rider. Then there's Geno. And then there's Chorus Kids. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing roster. That's an amazing roster. This is truly a fan service game. We got Shadow, which is probably the most requested Sonic character other than maybe Knuckles. We got Banjo-Kazooie, which were highly requested ever since back in Melee, and especially when in the Smash Battle days when he resurfaced. Isaac's been a fan favorite since Brawl. Ken just makes a lot of sense as an Echo. Mach Rider's a cool retro WTF character. Geno, one of the most popular picks. And we got Chorus Kids, which were rumored to actually be in Smash 4, but they didn't make it in, or the rumor was false or whatever, but it makes sense for them to be here. And I just gotta say, perfect roster. Now let me go over why I think it's real. The evidence to support this leak is very strong. It's very strong. In the initial image, there was a name that the leaker tried to cross out. He didn't want his name to get all over this leak, which is fair. He doesn't want that name, but he did a very poor job of covering it. People figured out that his name was Eric Brickard. And I'm so sorry, Eric Brickard. If this is real, then the Nintendo Ninjas are going to be coming to your house and murdering you. But yeah, this guy's dead, but yeah, Eric Brickard was his name. And when people looked him up, they found that he lived in France, and he was a graphic designer on his LinkedIn page. His LinkedIn page revealed that he was a French guy who works for a graphic design thing. Now, that may not seem all that important. But the company he worked for supposedly has connections to Bandai Namco, which is working on Smash Bros. Ultimate. And to further back it up, let me go to the tweets here real quick. There was a tweet that Game Explain made, because Game Explain doesn't really believe this, which I think they're just too skeptical, honestly. I really think they're too skeptical. I think this is real, but that's besides the point. Let me get to Game Explain's tweet here. Okay, so they were talking about how they don't think it's real, and Nintendo Actu, is that how you pronounce it, replied saying, "Hello, Game Explain. We just called the workplace listed on the supposed leaker's LinkedIn profile and can confirm that he works there." And then they replied to that saying, "Some clarifications. The person who snapped the supposed leak worked at a company specialized in point-of-sale displays that did some work for Bandai Namco. We can confirm the person is indeed real and now works for another point-of-sale displays company." That's big. That's big. And if you click here, I don't understand French, but you could translate this, and I guess it means that he's here. That it's real. Like, he really works for this company that has ties to Bandai Namco. And you may be thinking, well, why is this whole Grinch picture up there? Why is there this whole Grinch thing? Well, graphic design companies don't tend to work with, like, on one project or one company. They work on multiple different things. They work for promotions for video games, movies, shows. They work on all kinds of stuff. So it wouldn't be very surprising to see the Grinch promotional art being worked on at this company. In this render, it's kind of hard to tell since that's kind of covered up, but the render of the Grinch appears to be from the back, and we have not seen any promotional art that shows the Grinch from the back. Which, if that's the case, that just gives you more credence to this rumor, because, okay, let's talk about the things this guy would have had to do to fool everyone. He would have had to make a fake account, which isn't true. It's been up there long enough. It's been confirmed that his account was not recently made. He would have to make it well in advance. He would have to have made the Grinch renders to try and convince people of that. He'd have to make all new artwork for the new characters, and he'd have to move a lot of these characters around and make pieces of the artwork that we haven't seen yet. Like Jigglypuff was moved, the Mii Fighters are moved into their own little section now. I think like some of the flying characters like Luigi and Rob, they're all in a different section. We see more of these characters that we haven't seen before, so he would have to make all of that. And I know people are like saying just to be skeptical, and I'm a very skeptical person. As I said, I didn't believe Vergeben all that much. I thought he made some very safe predictions. He got most of them right, but he always seemed uncertain as well. And if you do take Vergeben's word on this, then that means no Incineroar. Now, I've been saying for a long time, I've been saying for months in my first prediction video that I didn't think there was going to be a new Pokemon in this game. And I stood by that. Months and months later, I still stand by that. And this just further supports that. I just thought there would just be too many Pokemon reps. The return of Pokemon Trainer was to try and appease those people who maybe wanted a new Pokemon. I still think Incineroar or another Gen 7 Pokemon could come as DLC. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities, but for the base game, I never expected it, and this just goes to support that. And people saying that this leak is fake because Incineroar's not in it, you can't use that as evidence. You can't say because the character's not in the leak that that's evidence against the leak. I thought Vanity was crazy likely, but just because he's not here doesn't mean I can say this leak is any less credible, because there was no proof of Vanity. There maybe was a tiny bit of evidence, but there was no proof. You can't use that reason. You can't use that reasoning, and you also can't really use the blurry picture reasoning, because most leaks are blurry. The ESRB leak from Smash 4, which is also 45 days before Smash 4 release. This is 45 days before Smash Ultimate releases. What a coincidence! Those pictures were very blurry. Those were very blurry, and they were not very high quality. And people doubted them. A lot of people doubted those rumors. But sure enough, they were true, and so many people are denying this. And a few other points that people are trying to knock down, that there are some inconsistent shadows, which That does kind of hurt the leak a little bit, but again, it's blurry. I don't think you can ultimately say that that disproves the leak by any means. And I think another point is that some of the renders may look a little similar, but the thing is, GameXplain was trying to say how the Banjo render, the Banjo artwork looks super similar to the Smashified render of him, which is just stupid. I'm sorry, that looks nothing like it. He's floating in the air, Kazooie's flying, has her wings spread out. Banjo's arm is down on his body, it's not up here on his head. The only thing that looks kind of similar is the face, and even that looks different. I'm sorry, that is just... I love you, GameXplain, but that's just not... That's dumb. I'm sorry. He looks like the Smash Bros. Render because he looks like Banjo. What do you know? A character looks like the character... A character in Smash Bros. Looks like the character they're based on. What a mind-blowing concept! It's so mind-blowing! We also have a few more details here to potentially prove it. Let me pull those up real quick. I'm sorry, again, I'm not prepared just because I didn't script this. I just wanted to talk about it. I'm just blown away. Okay. So, the artist also has blank Battlefield artwork for the banner. Why? How would you... That would take so much effort and time to recreate. And who would have that? Who would have that information unless you're a graphic designer moving these characters around? That would take a lot of work to make and replicate. That's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. And not to mention, if you got characters like, let's see, Banjo-Kazooie, Isaac, Mach Rider, Geno, and Chorus Kids, that would correspond with the Koro leak a few weeks ago, a month or two ago, that said that we'd get 108 stages. Those 5 characters would presumably have 5 stages to go along with them. Ken and Shadow won it because they're Echo Fighters, and the reason Geno would is because he's a third-party character. Just because he's a Mario character, he's still a third-party character. I ultimately consider him more of a Square Enix character than a Mario character because they owned all the rights to him. A few other things to back it up was that you have the Mach Rider, which a while back Sakurai was talking about how he bought a figure that was going to, and he teased that it was going to be related to his work. And if you know Sakurai, when he's figuring out movesets for characters, he actually uses action figures to get their movements down, to plan their movesets and all that. And the figure looked eerily similar to Mach Rider. I'm not saying that that's proof one way or another, but it's something to look at. Another one that people were saying was that if this is true, then the roster would be perfect 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It would be 6 by 13. It would be perfect. It would make sure that people's OCD wasn't messed with. That one I'm a little less sure about. I don't think that one's really something you can say is proof towards its validity. I don't think that's the case. I don't really think you can argue that. Still something that they were pointing out, so I thought I would point it out. And there was a leak a few months back in September that actually, it was a French leak too, I believe, and it said, it predicted every single fighter that's on here. It said Banjo was going to be in, it said Isaac was going to be in, it said that Mach Rider was going to be in, it said that Geno would be in, it said that Shadow, Ken, and Chorus Kids, they said it would all be in. And it also said characters like Steve and Dixie Kong weren't getting in. And it also teased like what the story mode was going to be, which is interesting. If these two are connected in any way, then that's pretty interesting, I feel. So yeah, I think this is real. I really think this is real. There's so much evidence in favor of it, and the arguments of saying against it, I just don't think are strong enough. They're just that most of the arguments of saying are don't trust every leak you see, and anyone can fake it, and don't put all your faith in leaks. Those aren't arguments against this particular leak. And I am very skeptical of leaks. As I've said multiple times in this video, I am very skeptical. And yet all the evidence that supports this, I think it's real, guys. I think this is our final roster. And I couldn't be more excited. Banjo-Kazooie and Shadow, two of my most wanted characters, and we got great characters like Isaac, Chorus Kids, Mach Rider. This is insane. This is such a good roster. Sakurai deserves a very long break after this. This is insane. I bet Nintendo's not very happy. Eric Rickard is going to be dead by tonight. Nintendo Ninjas are going to swoop in. They're going to stab him. They're going to stab him. All jokes aside, what do you guys think? Do you think this leak is real? Do you think it's fake? Why do you think it's real? Why do you think it's fake? And if you think it's real, what do you think of this roster? Do you think it's a good roster? Are there characters that you would like to see on there? Are there characters that you wouldn't want to see on there? I don't see how you could argue that, because these are some great characters, but hey, who am I to judge? But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think it's real? What do you think of the leak? Let me know in the comments. Please be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. I know it was unscripted. Again, I'm sorry for that. I'm just really excited and I don't have a lot of time. But yeah, that's this new leak. I think it's real personally, and that's that. Catch you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone.